Is this the most disturbing Vault Tec experiment? For my poor musically gifted Vault dwellers of Vault 92, this would have been a nightmare.
When the war reared its head, she was invited by Vault Tec into Vault 92. They claimed the vault would be dedicated to preserving musical talent.
But we know it wasn't. And Vault 92 can be found in Fallout 3. And under the guise of preserving music and musical talent, it was actually experimenting with white noise. More specifically, implanting subliminal messages into the minds of its resident population. Now, Vault 92 was provided with a supply of sound equipment, musical instruments, and recording gear to facilitate the protection of musical legacy of mankind. However, Vault 92 is possibly responsible for the fact that we have no new music after the war, given that it's been noted that the radio stations in Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4 prefer to play pre-war music, even though 200 years has passed, and artistic pursuits are part of what make us human, so why is there no new music? Well, I guess if you'd heard an urban legend that recording new music would make your listeners violent, you'd probably steer clear. Now, in typical terrifying Vault Tec style, they developed this experiment over time. The first limited test carried out on isolated musicians in the sound booths, while the remaining dwellers were completely oblivious. Once it was deemed that the first experiments were successful, they then moved on, and extended the reach of the white noise using emitters that were wired into the loudspeakers throughout the vault, where the white noise was overlaid with the music playback. And to make sure that none of the vault dwellers missed out, the overseer blocked the distribution of personal sound players and headphones. Under the effects of the white noise, this put 33% of the subjects into a trance-like state, and that allowed the team to implement subtle minor ticks to verify the effectiveness of suggestion. However, the success was temporary. One of the musicians going completely insane and taking out 3 of his fellow vault dwellers in a bloody rage. It took 23 gunshots to bring him down. And the overseer loved it. Because you see, the point of the white noise was to turn the musicians into super soldiers. But instead of getting super soldiers, the poor vault dwellers just went insane. 1 month after the first incident, 10 dwellers succumbed to the white noise, with 7 fatalities. Men torn limb from limb by once respected representatives of the musical profession. The lead scientist himself pleading with the overseer at that point to abandon the project and salvage the situation. But the overseer said no, and so the situation continued to deteriorate, with 30% of the population of the vault eliminated. As Vault 92 continued to crumble, the lead scientist then learned the truth. This was not a controlled experiment at all, but that the white noise had been hooked up through the entire vault the whole time, so that the vault dwellers were being exposed to the white noise 24/7, not just in controlled bouts. And with its vault dwellers declared clinically insane and its maintenance crews dead, Vault 92 finally succumbed to flooding from the underground lake. So what do you think? Do you think the idea of white noise disturbing? Do you sometimes feel an intense murderous rage after listening to your favourite song? Maybe it was white noise all along.